Hi, I'm Rachel Moon, and I would like to take you on a tour of my art show here at the Art Center in Carrboro, North Carolina. And this is a show of my fiber arts work over the past 30 years, and it's called Tangled Threads, a creative reuse journey. Much of what I do with art and fabric and fashion is using materials that would have otherwise been thrown away or things that you know, might have looked like, what are you going to do with this? This isn't worth anything. And I can take those things and turn them into something special. And you'll see that as we take a tour of the pieces and hear about what they were before they are what you see on the walls here. So come with me and take a look. So this is a hoodie. It's actually in my personal collection. I wear it. This probably took, I don't know, over a period of months, like 10 hours, 15 hours to do. It's all hand sewn with different colored threads. So I would thread the needle with like a pink and a blue, or there's no blue in there, with like a purple and a yellow, or a pink and a purple, and then stitch with two colored thread. And then this one I have a video of me assembling the piece. So I won't say very much about it. If you can find that video, I'll link it in the description of this video. And it's all hand sewn, and these individual tags are all inspector's tags from the bolts of fabric that I was using in a situation where I was making t-shirts. All of the elements that you see here on the t-shirt graphic, they are all pieces that were taken off of the hem of a dress that I hemmed for an alterations client, except for the green, which is they're pieces of a lei that I found on Franklin Street. So flowers that came off of a Hawaiian lei necklace. That's what the green elements are on that piece. These are gloves that I've worn and continue to wear. They've needed mending over the years. So that's really what a lot of this is. Although when I first made them in high school, I cut the fingers off, and then the finger where I'd cut them, the finger holes were just starting to kind of fray and come apart. So the first thing that I did with these when I sort of revisited them was to complete the seam around the hole where the finger comes out so they don't just fall apart. And then over time, these seams were starting to come open. So I did a lot of in stitching on there. And that is this piece of my grandmother's piece. Then this is a piece that I actually did for the Beehive salon. They did a facial hair show, and we're calling for the community to do pieces that included a facial hair theme. And I actually added the buttons and other elements later, but the beard itself is made out of discarded thread that was all cut off of things I was working on. I collected thread for about 6 months to create the beard. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Honestly, I was just collecting a bunch of thread to see what would be a cool project. And then this project came along. And so that's where this piece came from. This piece is a corset that I made and actually wore for an event where I did tarot reading at Halloween party. And the birds on the piece, there's a third one behind on the outside of this piece. And the birds actually came off of a dress that was falling apart that was gifted to me. This woman was just like, oh, here's a big pile of clothes that I don't need anymore. And this was in there, just these birds on this skirt that was completely destroyed. So I've still got like 3 or 4 more of them that I can do something with at some point. So this is a pair of pants. It was a pair of pants. It is now a skirt. But I found this pair of jeans in a dumpster, just laying on top. They weren't gross. They were just on top. And I was like, hey, these are a perfectly good pair of pants. So I took them home and started to wear them. And my rule about patching anything is if I don't have a hole, I don't put a patch. So every patch that you see here, there was a hole. And I will turn it over so you can see the back. I even replaced the pockets because the pockets got so shredded this denim is very high in spandex, and then the spandex just makes the denim shred in a way that is pretty terrible, but it's great if you want to patch it. And I patched the rear ends so much that I turned them into a skirt because they were terribly uncomfortable as a pair of pants. And I had to get a little creative with how to make it cover my body in the way that it to. And all of these patches came from different eras of my life. This particular pair of pants was like a 12-year pair of pants and skirt. And this element here is a piece of fabric that I painted with some Dynaflow fabric dye. So this is a piece that I did last year. It's actually almost all of the fabric is stuff that I got when the Art Center moved buildings. So we had a fiber arts room in the old Art Center, and they decided they didn't want to bring any of the fabric over here from that location, and they gave me the opportunity to just go through and pick out whatever I wanted. So a lot of the fabric came from that, and it's none of this is sewn. It's actually done with what's called Wonder Under fabric stabilizer. And I'm actually realizing that it doesn't work great for keeping things in place. Like really, you're supposed to sew over it. So I'm gonna have to revisit this piece and get the pieces to stay secure in place. But I really liked this background. It kind of speaks to like old draperies from the 60s, and then of course these women sort of have 60s flair going on, and they also reminded me of the kind of drawings you would see on old patterns for sewing. And so that was also inspiring to me to kind of create this aura of femininity in this piece. It's one of my longest running in terms of the amount of different things that have happened to it over the course of time that I've worked on it. So this piece has been worked on over 30 years, different periods of time. It started out with the medical corset and the skirt, which is a tablecloth that I found wrapped around the handle of a gardening implement in the backyard when I was in high school. I just saw the grapes and I was like, oh, I need to have that. So that's why it's got a lot of stains and rips and so that's all it was just the corset and the skirt, and then this piece of tulle, this netting was also a part of it, the initial base piece. And then some years later, I had the opportunity to be in a fashion show, and it was a recycled art fashion show. And so I updated it a little bit. I added the fringe, I added the pearls. I think I added all this fringe as well. And I won a place in the fashion show. I won, I think, the most creative concept or something in that particular instance. And then again, I updated it to wear to the Frank Gallery's Spring Masquerade in 2024. And that's when I added some more of the elements, the lace and these buttons up here, and all of the trim that's down here, and some more layers to the skirt. And I won best use of recycled materials for that particular event. And so this is one of my favorite pieces. It is the longest running piece in terms of like constantly having some interaction with it, getting it more and more arted up. I don't know how to say it, but I've just constantly been working on this piece over the years and making it more of a piece. It may be done, it may not be done, I don't know. But I'm really proud of it. And this is the last piece in the show. Tattered Queen.